Well, it's time to eat my words on Reed Blankenship finally because I deserve it. And wow, what a player. And we have a receiver that is now going to be out for 6 weeks, which really sucks. We're going to be talking about why Bryce Huff was benched. And the Devin White situation is just getting more interesting as he was a healthy scratch for another week for the Eagles. Let's get into it.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. If my voice sounds a little crackly, it's because I'm still trying to get my voice back from Sunday. But the train keeps rolling. Okay, I hope everybody is feeling very good right now. Understand we have some things to discuss this week, and a lot with the coaching and the quarterback, and other things as well. But the Eagles get the win, and now you're going through this week. You have one more game left on your schedule before the bye week, and I think this was the perfect bye week for the Eagles. Never liked the Week 5 bye week at all when the schedule came out, but because wide receiver is still up in question for this week. Now, Britton Covey is going to be out 6 weeks with a broken bone in his shoulder, which really just sucks, guys. I really like the way the Eagles haven't tried to incorporate Britton Covey in this offense. I think he's earned a lot of respect from me because, I never thought that it would come to this point where Britton Covey would, actually try to be a wide receiver for this team. And Kelmore likes to use a multitude of different receivers that could do different things. And for Britton Covey, had that one first down and had a couple catches. So I thought he did really well. I think they could do a lot more with him. I think they could distribute the ball a lot more as well, but with these receivers. And I thought they did a pretty good job of that with Paris Campbell getting involved. Nothing on some big plays, but, Britton Covey still, I think, produced for us on that first down, had a couple catches, and that's great. So who takes over for special teams? I don't know. Does Will Shipley going to the punt return? Is it going to be Cooper DeJean? I think Cooper DeJean will be a high player that will be in that punt return position, depending if they're going to play him this week, what's going on with him going forward, and how far he's getting in practice. Hopefully, he'll be more ready this week. But, the receiver position is, I think Covey is going to be a big loss for special teams, but I think he would have produced a little bit more. So 6 weeks, he'll be back relatively, early. So it's 6 weeks might be a long time, but it goes by very fast. Now, with everything happening with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, usually the players that get concussions, NFL mandate-wise, are going to be out another week. We don't know. Nothing's official yet. We probably won't find anything out until Wednesday, most likely, of what's really going on. Devontae Smith could not play this week. You could be without both your number one A and B receivers. AJ Brown. I mean, I heard rumors really this past week that he's probably, or really last week, that he most likely will not come back until after the bye. But at the same time, you don't want to rush AJ Brown back because Devontae Smith's not playing. So if you're going to see defenses loading the box, you got a $12 million running back, and you could do a lot more on the outside, whether it's, you're going to have some double tight end sets. You're going to be doing some good things. Dallas Goedert will be a big mismatch. Jahan Dotson has got to be involved entirely. Another game. What does he have? One catch that didn't even count for the Philadelphia Eagles because Johnny Wilson had the big holding call on the first down by Jahan Dotson. So, on that Jahan Dotson play. So, you know what I mean? Jahan Dotson has got to they got to start using him a little bit more, okay, because he's played the outside, and now there'll be a little bit more pressure on him going to this week. Do they bring John Ross back to play in this game or bring him up as a depth piece for the Eagles on game day? That's another thing they could possibly do because I don't really see any other receivers on the practice squad that could just come right in and start, being somewhat quality. Can't really put a practice squad player in that position to be elevated, giving them their shot. We'll see what happens, but potentially now we're out Covey, you're out Devontae Smith. You could be out A.J. Brown and, not having Lane Johnson with the concussion as well. He could be out next week as well, but I think we feel pretty good about Fred Johnson. We felt really good about, obviously, Tyler Steen with Mekhi Becton with the hand injury. So there's some injuries here, but a bye week is coming, so there's no point to rushing guys back. If Devontae Smith could come back, I think we'll be fine. A.J. Brown, don't rush him back too fast. I mean, you need him. Seems like Jalen Hurts has the most success with him on the field, so let him take as much time as possible. Wait after the bye week for him to come back. Now, Reed Blankenship has been the third highest graded safety in the league. I wouldn't have expected this because thought his coverage was always nil, lackluster the most, but with 2 picks and his downward cover, his downfield coverage has been pretty good, guys, between his tackling. And he's always coming up in those big moments for the Philadelphia Eagles at safety. He's played 100% of the snaps. He hasn't missed one snap with the Eagles at all, which is great. So you remember, the Eagles did extend Reed Blankenship for another year. So Reed will be on the roster for another year. You still have Chauncey here for another 2 years after this year. So your safety position is really good. Is the depth fantastic? We're waiting for Sidney Brown to come back after pretty much this week. He'll be technically able to come back towards the bye week and see where he's going to be at, and probably will take another few weeks to get him, get him situated. And then obviously Bradbury will be back in no time, and what they're going to do with him, I don't know. But Reed has been great. And I think I've said this, that he's more of an in the box guy, but I could be wrong. He could be a lot more than that going forward. And Reed has been one of the biggest steals the last few years, and just getting better and better by this, the year, and just a player you never expected. We had a Chauncey Gardner-Johnson injury a couple years ago. He comes in and look what happens. You give these young guys opportunity. Sometimes they just take advantage of what's given to them. Reed Blankenship has been, and I don't know, Reed's swagger is starting to grow on me a little bit. I don't know. I love his attitude, and we'll see what happens with him. But he's been a great player at the position and been fantastic. Now we have to get into Bryce Huff. Okay, Bryce Huff, another game under his belt, $17 million a year, 16, 17 snaps in this game, okay, the other day, and against the Saints, and he didn't do anything, not anything. Okay, not only did they bench Bryce Huff, but they gave more snaps to Nolan Smith. They gave more snaps to Brandon Graham. Percentage-wise on what the numbers were, that's kind of where, Nolan Smith had a tackle, nothing crazy. I think there was an unblock on the special teams from him that had the blocked punt, which really sucked. That was almost a turnaround of that game. Brought them to field position and obviously scoring there. But Bryce Huff, man, it's just getting worse and worse by the week. Fangio is giving excuse after excuse. I mean, like I said, we always question why they signed this guy after one 10-sack season within a heavy rotation with the Jets. And I don't know. He's just not showing that he can even give pressure at this point. Not even a little bit of pressure. Not a hurry, not nothing. 17 17 snaps in this game. Not even an assisted tackle. He's got 2 assisted tackles in 3 games. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. And, to really get into everything else, because that's why it was so bad, I'm glad they made that decision, because you have Zach Bond right now that's leading the whole league in tackles right now. The Eagles have the top linebacker in the league as of week 3 right now, with the most tackles, solo tackles right now. I think it's like 26, 27 tackles, which is absolutely amazing. I think he had 9 solos in this game. Zach Bond and the 5-man front put on the edge. This is Vic Fangio's protege player that fits. This is the best linebacker we have when it comes to coverage, when it comes to just being just playing downhill, being aggressive, and man, just a breath of fresh air with Zach Bond, especially facing his former team on top of it. I don't know how they scoped this guy out as being a role player for the Saints last year, a defensive end transformed to an outside linebacker, now really a middle linebacker, which at times, which is great because they played it both inside and outside. But when they start to move him around a little bit on that 5-man front, it just, man, 5 dudes on the line is just fantastic. Zach Bond is definitely, I honestly think they could balance him out during a game and have him at linebacker, have him at the edge, and I think that's what they've been doing. So it seems like Vic is starting to make those adjustments, and the defense was looking the best I've ever seen a defense play for the Eagles in a while. I would say the last few years. That one game, I gotta say, they did even in 22, they played well defensively, generational. We're not getting the sacks in this past game, but let me tell you, between coverage and having some containment on the outside where we've been really bad against the run, I think it's looked really good. And Zach Bond is definitely a big re-sign candidate as of right now going forward. Now, the issue I have going forward right now is Devin White. Okay. Now, Devin White, celebrated with Zach Bond. He was in casual Eagles clothing on the sideline. He was at the game and was celebrating with Zach Bond after some good plays, which was fantastic. But man, another healthy scratch week by Zach Bond. What are they doing? In my opinion, guys, I feel like there's a trade coming. I don't know why. I feel like teams are going to get real needy at linebacker. He's only getting paid $4 million this year. He's cheap to have on the roster, but why don't they ever put him in a game? And I said this past week where I said, man, like just keep Zach Bond as a move around player. Keep Zach Bond as an edge rusher and move him around because he can rush from the right side, the left side, the middle. You could put him wherever you want. That's the best thing about Zach Bond. He used to play the position that transformed to an outside linebacker with the Saints with a couple picks last year. So I think Devin White should play. I mean, I think you're leaving some value on the bench right now. Way too much value with Devin White. Why isn't he not getting an opportunity? And all I could say is that, yeah, I think he's on the trade block. There's nothing reported of that. There's been rumors, third-party rumors, little things like that. But are they getting ready? Are they getting ready to deal him? Because to be honest, guys, like I don't know if you could be an injury away at linebacker to where the position goes really bad. What if Zach Bond gets injured? What if Nakobe Dean gets injured this year? Are we putting that much into Ben Van Simmeren right now? Because Ben Van Simmeren has gotten better, but he hasn't got a lot of game opportunities. He's had game opportunities, no doubt, with injuries and how lackluster linebacker has been for the Eagles in past years. But at the same time, this is a veteran player. This is a guy that's won a Super Bowl. That's been a Pro Bowler in his career and had a down year last year. Obviously, having an injury last year on top of it. The Eagles facing Tampa Bay twice last year. He was immaculate when it came to Tom Brady bringing the Tampa to the playoffs. Look what Devin White did in the playoff run. He was a monster. He was a freak of nature. But why the no playing time? Why is he sitting on the bench? Makes no sense to me. Is there something going on with Devin White between Vic Fangio and Devin White? Is there something going on there? I'm not really sure, but it should be interesting. And that's pretty much where we're at. Linebacker has been a powerhouse this year. I think it's been very good for the first 3 games. Zach Bond, fantastic. And that's where we're at, man. So let me know what you guys think about A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Do you think one of them comes back with Covey now being out 6 weeks? How do you feel about Reed Blankenship? And, do the Eagles keep Bryce Huff benched, on the sideline? Do they really still sideline him going forward? You guys let me know in the comment section below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video. It helps out the channel out tremendously. Appreciate all the support. As usual, you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Chicks About Falls Live. Peace out, guys. Peace.